There's never been an entertainment series breaking down the ownership and money behind music, television, and motion pictures until now.
The intellectual property as a whole is being devalued every year, more and more and more, and we're fighting for a smaller and smaller piece of the pie.
We are in the fight for our life.
It was like, get on iTunes, get on iTunes, get on Amazon.com. Now it's like, get on Pandora, get on SoundCloud, get on Spotify, where artists are making pennies.
What are intellectual property rights and who controls them? Every episode of Breakdown Media examines the winners and losers in the high-stakes business of entertainment.
We're experiencing a total paradigm shift.
Digital platforms are the most relevant networks of all. Can technology accurately measure who's watching and listening? Beyoncé's self-titled album is the fastest selling in iTunes history. Last century, artists were faced with a completely different set of challenges.
The record companies had so much power that they called the shots.
At the pinnacle of their success, the Jackson 5 had no creative control and owned nothing. Like many agents, artists, and managers of the time, Joe Jackson takes on the system and loses.
Michael Jackson paved the way for new artists, and the way that deals were structured and the way that artists could have creative control, really manage their own careers. Michael called the shots.
Michael soon learns owning music catalogs will give him the ultimate power, wealth, and control in entertainment. He outbids Paul McCartney for the portfolio of Beatles music. He pays $45 million. Today, it's valued at $1.5 billion.
I suppose Michael knew I was trying to sort of get control of him, and I kind of thought he was joking. I used to work with him, and he'd say, I'm going to get your record, you know.
Many artists are teaming up with large corporations to buy back their music catalogs and control their intellectual property. We're breaking down the fascinating business of television, the networks, and some of the famous faces that help propel it all.
In general, there's just been a shift from the people who own the network license and the television cameras, people creating shows and had the legal right to have some control over what they were creating.
Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz built the ultimate TV production company. Their deal with CBS gives them creative control and significant ownership in the show. In the decades following the success of Desilu, thousands of shows have been created. Only a minute % succeed. How is television changing, and how does live streaming affect the current broadcast model? In the early days of motion pictures and filmmaking, actors and artists were completely reliant on a studio for work.
The movie business today is completely different than it was in the early part of the 20th century.
Cary Grant paved the way for future negotiations. He turns down a $50,000 salary for 1939's The Awful Truth, opting for 10% of the film's gross box office receipts. This shrewd trade nets him over $500,000. Grant creates the first ever back-end movie deal. A-list actors are negotiating back-end deals, bigger and better than anyone ever imagined. Breakdown Media, breaking down the details, dollars, and oftentimes dirt surrounding entertainment's biggest media deals.